There we go. All right.
We are live. Oh, we are alive. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Too Many Warlocks / Mercenaries of Mischief. Together, most of us, some of us are praying in rivers and or training with pirate queens. But we are doing a special crossover event, continuing the stories that have gone on yesterday. If you didn't see it, be sure to check it out in the old YouTubes, and you can continue the story from there. I am the benevolent dungeon master, known as Puck, and I'm joined today by more people than usual. This sea of faces, and they are in no particular order. One Kashano the Quick, one Pt2 Tea Leaf, one Richard Bennett, one Redan, one Penn, and one Guy. And we are here to play Dungeons & Dragons for you fine people today. Now, when last we left our heroes, there was some friction from early party meetings together. And of course, everyone is on edge because Dearest Cookie has passed and his body has been laid to rest within the Crab Shack. There was an effort to revive him, which sadly didn't pan out. And there was an ominous warning from a particularly reanimated and familiar mad scientist that in 30 days, one Mr. Blackwind will unleash his full wrath, not 90%, not 75, full wrath on Avalon Keep.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it 100.
I have a small question about that. It's
Sure.
bothering me. And this is when anyone mentions a day kind of thing like that. When you say 30 days, does that mean the day he said it counts? Or does that mean it starts the next day? This is
welcome to semantics.
Is it happening on day 1 or day 0?
You have 29 days.
Oh.
I'm going to add to that, actually.
Okay.
Is this count, like, are we going in tandem, like Warlocks plus Mom? Or
Yeah, I don't
one specific set of time? Or is it like Warlocks get a couple days, we get a couple days?
I think we'll get off a couple days. Don't worry. Each will have their own calendar and their overlay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that'd be
Everybody's got to be back here in 3 weeks. That's basically
the days will match. We'll weave it in together. It's fine.
All right, so this isn't something I'm throwing into my notes.
No. Okay. So the previous night, some people had gone on to do various things. Lilith had gone off with Melissa to train with Black Cherry on her ship. And Gilbetta, distraught at the fact that her ritual did not revive Cookie, decided to go for a swim in the river and have a little pray to her god. And the rest of our party were in the training hall. There was a beautiful moment between Kashano and Richard that I will treasure forever in my heart.
yeah, you only get one.
Oh no! You heard of shipping? This is happening now. Okay.
Bring on Howie.
Or it was koshered. Let's
Kashana.
call this koshered.
Kashana the Wood.
Kashano the Wood. Yes. Hashtag Kashano the Wood ship. Viewers, make it happen. All right. Now then.
I am so sorry.
No, this is fine. This is perfect.
I'm not apologizing to you.
Pt2 received an invitation, seemingly from her deity. And Penn and Redan, you were both meditating on your friends, I recall, were you not?
Indeed, yep. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know why I didn't get anything from my phone. I just randomly turned on my computer. I was just like, I wonder what's going on today.
It's okay. We'll slot you in. I'm just keep going. All right. So you guys were both meditating on your deities and trying to figure that out. What are the? Tell me. Set the scene for me. What specifically is on your minds when you're diving into this?
You want to go first?
You can go first if you'd like.
Specifically, Redan is trying to just connect with the book, trying to connect with his god and see if any sort of information as to how he can learn the language or learn how to read this.
All right.
If there's any, yeah, just looking for anything. Like it's an open question. Like, hey, what do you want from me?
Okay, so through the night, as you meditate on this, you start to come into this voice. And at first it starts out as a whisper. And then it gradually increases in volume until you can hear it clearly. And it says to you, the words are not important. This is your connection to me. You have abilities within you. It is why you were chosen. I can help you harness those abilities if you further my reach in this world.
Is this going to be a monologue or is there going to be...
Oh no, she's talking to you. She's
okay.
This voice is speaking directly to you.
Okay. I would like to know more about these abilities, but I'm curious what furthering your reach in this world means.
I have lost my seat in the Underdark. I require more followers than I currently possess. You can help me gain those followers. Let people know of the merits.
But I don't know your merits. I can't read your book.
You will come to understand them. And you see a reflection of yourself for a moment. And in the spot where you normally paint the eye during your ritual, an eye opens.
Okay.
The book is simply a history. I will teach you everything you need to know.
I'm willing to learn.
I hoped you would be. Keep the book close to you at all times. I'll make my presence known when necessary.
I will do this. Thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you, my champion. All right. And that's how your thing goes. Peniton.
All right. So, Pen's got a little bit of a flair for theatrics, just a little bit. So,
he's going to do this elaborate ritual.
Really did not know about that about you at all.
So Pen goes up to his room and he collects all the books that he personally has gathered throughout his journeys.
Okay.
The book that he got from the Haunted House in the Woods on Soul Transposition, the Book of Basic Magic from the Mad Mage's Tower, and the scientific journals from the lab, and then a couple books off the shelf. And he's going to put them in the points of like a pentagram on the floor.
Okay.
And he's going to call out Noodle and get him to wrap in a circle around that, and he's to sit in the middle.
Wait, what's a noodle?
Noodle is his staff that turns into a snake.
A giant python. I love it. So,
and what do you say to make the staff turn into a giant python?
rise, Noodle.
Thank you.
So we've got him. Whisper's sitting on the shelf. Handy's wherever Handy be, probably under my hat or something. And I'm going to have my personal grimoire in my hands, the one with the eye. And I'm going to look at it and just start to meditate and reach out with my mind and say, Grand Archivist, I have knowingly and unknowingly potentially served you, but I believe it's time we discussed. So please, great teacher, reveal yourself to me.
All right, so you just do this ritual and just kind of stand there, or do you meditate on this?
I'm sitting in the middle and beginning to meditate.
You're sitting in the middle? Okay, you have the book on you while you're sitting in the middle?
Oh, yeah, I'm holding it in my hands.
Okay. The book begins to reach out with like spectral chains after a while, and they hook into these other books and begin to draw them into it. And you can see these books get completely absorbed into your book.
Am I surprised?
And then a voice booms throughout your room. Gather more.
Of course. That's what I aim to do naturally anyway.
All right. It says nothing further.
Like, even if I try to talk to it?
Even if you try to talk to it.
Come on, man.
Look, Keith just got hers. You gotta wait.
Welcome to being a warlock. It's all one direction. And I don't mean the band.
Jobetta walked into some shit.
So that's how your night went. Now, Lilith, you had gone down to the ship to train along with Melissa and Black Cherry. When the two of you had arrived on the boat, Cherry was in the middle of dispatching another of her men to the ground. And she kind of huffs and composes herself, adjusts her hat. What can I do for you?
I can see that you are a very strong fighter, and I request that you train me as well, so I can help protect the keep and the people in it.
She turns around and takes a look at you, kind of eyes you up and down, and eyes Melissa as well. She walks up close in her charcoal black skin. And you can see as she gets close to you that she's been crying while she's been fighting these people.
Oh dear.
You knew my husband.
For a short amount of time, unfortunately.
Did he cook for you?
He did.
Then I will give you the benefit of my knowledge.
Oh.
Come with me. I shall show you the basics.
Oh.
And do not cry if you get injured.
Don't worry about that.
And Melissa's just going along with you. She's like, yes, me too. And you guys engage in a elaborate training montage.
How so? Am I with a sword or she's with a book?
She hands you one of her rapiers.
Oh, close combat. Okay.
Yep. She pulls one off of her belt. She has two of them that she keeps with her and tosses it to you. And you can see that the hilt of this rapier is decorated in a manner of storm clouds approaching a shoreline. It's beautifully inlaid and decorated on this. And the blade looks like a bolt of lightning curving up, etched into it. And so she essentially gives you some fencing lessons. And while she's doing that, she instructs her men to give Melissa some additional training as well. And one thing you notice about her immediately is anything she says, these men jump immediately to that action. There's no second guessing or anything.
You're slutty.
Right. So that's how you spend your evening.
Sounds good.
All right. So this is how everyone's nights play out. When morning finally rises, it seems somewhat peaceful, even at the keep. Feels like a lot of the negative feelings from the day before have been worked out. And how does everybody begin their morning?
I try and wake up before dawn so I can be outside.
You go outside, your cloak of levitation whisking you kind of off your feet. And you do happen to get up just in time to catch the horizon coming up. And it compels you to go towards it, towards the sun.
I rush towards the sun.
All right, your cloak of levitation carries you with great speed, and you rush towards it until the light is so blinding, the world seems to disappear in this bright light around you. And you are alone in this place.
Hello?
Hello, little one.
Oh.
And an image of flames erupts. And for a while, it takes the form of your grandfather. But then it changes. It changes into another form, somewhat humanoid, but not with anything that you would distinguish as features. Almost like a living flame. And these flaming wings sprout out from the sides of it. And it says, "It is good to finally see you again."
Nice to meet your acquaintance, officially.
I understand an alliance is forming.
Yes, I believe we need your assistance. What should I refer to you as?
Many have called me the Dawn Seeker. I've had many names in the past. If I were to describe it, I am the feeling that causes mortal beings to seek out beyond their boundaries. To search and scour the world. I am the fire that burns in the heart of every explorer.
Right. Dawn Seeker it is, because that seems a little bit more succinct.
Very well. I shall go by this name.
But
You have done well to further me. I can see I've chosen my champion well.
Thank you.
I thank you. And this blade of yours.
Isn't it so cool? It talks too.
Yes. It was wielded by one of my acolytes long ago.
Oh.
It's likely why it's taken such a liking to you.
So, are you going to join us? I think the others are in the ethereal plane.
I will assist in any way I can. It is sad what happened to Cookie.
Could you do anything to bring him back?
Little one, I wish I could say it was within my power. My fires burned bright in him. But sadly, it's beyond me to reignite them. Your friends are on the right track. I fear I can't say much more. But I will lend my aid in time. As for you, continue to seek danger, take risks, and find the new horizon.
I will.
And you are floating in a field outside the keep.
Okay.
You guys, her patron is the spirit of adventure.
I'm gonna take a few minutes to let that sink in.
I wish my patron loved me.
Oh, we can't hear
Poor
you.
Penn.
Poor Penn.
He's like,
Penn's-
I'm not loved. I don't remember fucking anything.
He's developing that relationship. It takes time. You have to grow it. She had a conduit with the sword, and things just progressed. Anyway. So does anybody else have any morning activities?
Jobetta's reading this book.
You're reading through the ritual book?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a ton of stuff in there.
Yay.
It reads very similarly to a cleric's spell book.
Okay.
But some of the spells are things that you know you can't do. Other things are things you think you might be able to do with enough training.
Okay. Is it mostly rituals?
It's mostly rituals.
Okay. Is there anything directly pertaining to the undead?
There are a lot of like smite undead, turn undead, stuff that you're familiar with from the cleric spell book, right?
Right. Okay.
Like it's the same kind of flavors that these are unholy beings that we can burn away with radiant light. Here are the various methods we can use to do so.
Okay. That's the first thing that she's kind of looking for, because she's like, this dude fucking choked me in my sleep. He called me a bitch.
Yeah, there's an entire chapter on wraiths.
Yes.
Wraiths are beings of malevolent spiritual shadow. They can create new wraiths or other ghosts by attacking recently dead humanoids. They are vulnerable to light. Traditional weapons do not work. Magical weapons and radiant light is their weakness.
Right. Well, that's Jobetta's specialty. So, you know.
It also happens to be Richard's. Oh no, I'm not coming in very well at all, am I?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I can hear you well enough.
It also happens to be Richard's specialty. Magical weapons. Also Keythrees.
No,
Yeah,
just,
you guys.
not even magical weapon. Jobetta's just the light, sacred
Yeah,
flame,
you-
holy light.
You're the only holy warrior in the entire team.
Yeah. Need to get my guiding bolt skills up. Sacred flame.
All right. So morning has come. People are waking up and milling about the keep.
So
Getting ready. Oh, no, sure. Go ahead.
this morning's all about filling in those missing holes. So as he awakes, I assume he starts to reassemble the conspiracy board.
Okay.
Realizes the big hole still left here is K3. Knows a little about her, and knowing her type, he'd probably go check for her at first, knocking on her door, but then go check for her in the training hall.
You don't find her in her room or in her training hall or in the training hall. But Keith, at this point, after you discover yourself in the field, would you head back to the keep?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're heading to the training hall, you see her returning to the keep.
Guthrie, right?
Yes. Kashana?
Yes. So happy to run into you here. I understand you're quite the swordsman.
Yes. It is my specialty.
Oh, to be completely honest, I could use some pointers. If you're not terribly busy, would you mind joining me in the training hall?
Oh, certainly. Certainly. I taught William how to use his dagger, so.
Oh. How's he coming along?
All right. You know, I'm not as worried about him stabbing himself. He knows which end to hold and how not to be a danger to himself or others that he does not wish to be a danger to.
That's a great place to start. Frankly, I might use a little help in that myself. I've carried the sword for quite a long time, but have had only a small amount of training in it. So I would appreciate some pointers.
Certainly.
Cool. We'll make our way over there.
Richard has not left the training hall since last night.
You're still in there?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
He's asleep against a wall with his sword clutched in a death grip.
Nice.
Should we wake him?
Maybe not. He could probably use the sleep.
All right.
Hold on. Richard!
One eye opens. It's kind of
Hey,
groggy.
we're just in here. Just so, you know, you don't wake up hearing, like, fighting and get startled.
This is a good call.
Yeah. All right. Richard starts to get up. Go back to the most recent dummy he was butchering. 30 minutes are up anyways.
There you go.
Right.
So, why don't you use this one over here that's still standing?
All right. Yes. Very good.
The broken training dummies that Richard has massacred in the night are slowly knitting themselves back up together.
Well, perhaps we could even spar a bit. You could assess my deficiencies that way.
Certainly.
All right. I'm going to draw my regular ass rapier.
Okay. You're not ready to pull out the obsidian blade on this just yet?
Not against a person that I don't want to hurt.
Okay.
It's a blood drinking blade. I don't know exactly what it's going to do.
Okay.
I will draw Duelist Companion.
All right.
That is quite a sword there. I noticed yesterday. Was it on fire?
In the ethereal, yes.
It's hard to tell because you were kind of all on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is going to sound like a weird question. Has it ever talked to you?
Yes. It's not a weird question. I mean, there are tales all the time of talking swords. My grandfather told me plenty.
Well, yeah, I'd heard the stories, but I just figured they were stories. Then again, at this point, I don't know why I would think that about anything. Excellent point. All right, well.
Have you run into a talking sword?
Yeah. Actually, I have.
Oh, he's being truthful.
I can't believe it.
I don't know. Wasn't sure whether to trust it, to be honest.
Well, does it seem distrustful? Has it like, asking you to do horrible things?
Not particularly. It's pretty clear about its intentions.
I mean,
Hasn't really compelled me to do anything in particular.
I guess it's just a gut feeling.
Fair enough.
Well, that's how I make my decisions.
You're the instructor, so how shall we begin?
All right, I'll like get into a fighting stance.
Okay.
Wait.
Yes, I know this.
Here's what I want the two of you to do. Is I want you guys to make opposing attack rolls with your weapons to each other, and the higher attack roll scores a point. I want you to do 3 of these.
Okay.
All right.
K3.
All right.
Just rooting.
I'm at you.
Stab Kashana.
I'm
As
staring
soon
at this
as soon
week.
as they pulled the swords out, BJ said, "Kashana, make a death save."
Point K3.
I see.
Just-
So
Taps you.
that was
A little quicker.
I didn't
Kick his ass.
I didn't even think I had left an opening there. That was quite impressive. Where did you learn to fight like this?
Picked up a few things from my grandfather and some of the folks that he hung around.
Duelist companion says, "Hit him again."
Your grandfather. Your name was Tea Leaf, was it not?
Yes.
Do I know anything about Tea Leaf?
You have heard of an adventurer known as Tea Leaf.
Interesting.
It's like sweep the leg. Kashano goes to the floor.
Huh. All
It's-
right.
It's very
companion.
important to watch the eyes of your opponent. That
Duelist
is-
companion chuckles.
Oh, to watch the eyes.
Yes.
Really?
Interesting.
My was always the shoulders.
You know, Tea Leaf, that name kind of rings a bell. I feel like I've heard of an adventurer by that name.
You're the second person to mention that.
Any relation of yours?
Trying to find that out.
You mentioned your grandfather.
Yes, my grandfather Aaron.
Was he an adventurer himself?
Of a sort. Had a lot of stories.
Interesting. Gonna make a. Well, she's not looking.
Nope.
Fucking just like instantly.
Sword goes flying across.
Super in character.
It's perfect.
Well, as I always say, fortune favors the quick, eh?
Not perhaps you should be known as Kashano, not the quick.
Oh, burn.
I'm kind of attached to the brand at this point, but I mean, you're not wrong.
Scorched.
What exactly brings you here?
That hurts.
Seeking adventure.
But why here specifically?
I heard tales of the knights and sought it out. How about you?
Total chance. Running from death. Don't seem to be getting too far. Hence the need for training.
I prefer to run to something.
Why you guys are
I'm
talking.
seeing that more each day. The value of it, and that's kind of why I've bought in here. What I hate to keep prying, but what sort of affiliations did your grandfather have?
As Don is wondering, sorry, as Kiki is wondering, but Richard just chops the head off of a dummy.
All right.
Rolls towards them.
Stumble.
Well, he had a certain name around among a crowd. A couple of different circles.
What sort of circles? For example, what are some of the, just so I can place them a little bit better, what are some of the stories I may have heard?
Well, there was the story of how he won back a decent amount of money that was owed to him by disguising himself as a half-giant.
Interesting. Sounds like my sort of man. Again, what circles did you say he ran in?
Well, to be honest, street performers, the like. He did once learn how to breathe fire.
He's inciting you.
Okay.
With the 20.
The 20. I'm not lying.
No, she's being legit with you.
Street performers. This is gonna sound weird.
Kashano for doing an inside check.
Have you ever heard of anyone else named Kashano?
Would I have heard?
You have heard that Kashano, and your grandfather told you this, is that Kashano is a name used by a particular group of bards, and it's kind of passed down from one to another. And it's generally a Kashano and then another additive on top of that as a descriptor for the person. It's like a stage name.
No, I think my grandfather did mention he went drinking a couple of times with a Kashano.
That sounds about right. Did your grandfather ever mention the Carnival of Opportunity?
I don't.
No, he did not. Although he had heard of it as a place where bards, particularly who are looking for a direction in life, can go to.
He didn't mention it?
No. He's heard of it, but he'd never been himself.
No. What is it?
I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, if I hear, I will let you know.
I'd appreciate that.
All right. So if the two of you want to devote further time for your sword training, Kashano, you can gain a bonus out of this, so you're not just getting your ass kicked for nothing.
I would love that if you could spare the time.
All right. So while you guys continue your sword training, Lilith, you are taken to an interior cabin of the ship with Cherry. And it's dimly lit with torches. And she pulls out her rapier. And with a hand tucked behind her back and her sword up, and she moves her feet around and she says, "All right, show me what you've got."
I'm actually more familiar with the arrow and the bow. So,
Well, show me where you've started. And then we'll get to the other things.
all right, Lilith, try to remember what those patrons of yours have taught you at the bars. What do I roll?
Roll an attack roll for me with you have some kind of melee weapon, don't you?
No, I just have my short bow.
Oh, okay. Well, just roll an attack, roll a
It's
d20
the one-
and add your strength modifier to it.
My strength modifier? Okay. A d20? You said?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a +1.
Okay. So with an 18, you lunge at her and she quickly kind of deflects your blade. She says, "Good. Tell me, why do you fight?"
To stop evil men.
Come at me again. She blocks your blade and runs it through with a parry that kind of sends you stumbling forward.
Oh,
There was an evil man you couldn't stop. Who was he?
I mean that in general.
I understand, but I see it on your face. There is someone who to this day still fills you with fear and hatred. I know because I have someone like this.
Lilith doesn't answer. She attacks.
All right, come at her again. You tag her in your aggressive attack. She says, haha. You see, you can use this. It can be your strength. But you have to face it. And she does a quick tussle with you and taps you on the side with her sword and gives you a little sting. Do you want to be afraid anymore?
I wish not to be afraid anymore.
Then I will teach you to live without fear. But you need to face it.
Is that so easy?
It is not easy. Do you think it is easy to be me? Do you think I rose to this? Delicately?
I take a really good look at her, see if there's like scars, some kind of history with her.
There are scars. They're more or less covered up by the hat, and there's a bit of makeup as well. And if you look closely, poking out from her coat, there are bits on her arms.
Did you earn those by protecting yourself, or was it before you became strong?
They made me strong. You are a tiefling, right?
Unfortunately.
People have looked down on you for this?
For most of my life, yes.
She walks over to a post and she hangs up her hat and removes her coat. And you can see a series of scars up both of her arms now, as she's wearing kind of a vest and both of her arms are exposed.
How do you not let those bad memories shake you with fear?
Because now I have the power to repay them. Each and every one. Tenfold. It was not easy to be a drow. We are not accepted on the surface. Stories of Menzo Berenzan. Hated everywhere we go. Servants of Lolith, the Spider Queen. That's all we are known for. This is not all of us. Some of us aspire to a better life. See us for the people that we are within. Cookie could see that. And he could see that in you. That's why he brought you into his home, fed you dinner.
Lilith will take off her gloves. And she also has scars all over them too. She's like shaking, looking at them.
Did you earn those?
No, forcefully given.
Then you will learn to repay them.
I want him to suffer.
Then I will help you. But you need to overcome your fear. Are you ready?
Yes. As she picks up the rapier and points and ready.
All right, and she readies her with hers against yours,
Alright.
and you continue to duel.
Have at it. How's Melissa doing?
Melissa is you catch a glimpse out the window every now and then because she is half like Cambions are a different creature altogether. They're similar. They'd be like a cousin to you, but they have a stronger connection to demons than you would. So she is bodily throwing dudes to the ground, like throwing off 3 guys and like fending off people with a staff.
Atta girl.
Wings like Hulk, a tail whips. But Cherry continues to train you, and she helps you learn to utilize the blade fully, and then eventually sends you into a bit of archer training as well. All right.
That about a little bit of brawling?
Oh yeah, maybe a little bit of brawling. Like she teaches you use all your appendages, the tail, everything, full on.
Oh.
Yeah, no, like there's going to be
awesome.
stuff. Continue this.
Wow. That's awesome.
All right.
I want to see a tail eye gouge.
Yeah, look, tail. It's usually a tail sweep or a tail pull. Get them out from underneath.
No, I want to see an eyeball plucked.
Maybe with my rapier
Where you plug it. It's like where you pluck it and then you twirl it around as you like trash talk them.
Then you throw it back at them and knocks them out.
Yeah.
Try to keep that in mind for.
Where you do the creepy thing where you're like,
But they can't see it because you're holding their eye.
but only one of them.
Okay, yeah, only one of them. They have to see it. The depth perception is gone.
And then
All
you
right.
make a pun where you're like, I see you have a problem.
Haha.
Or like, hey, watch yourself.
Oh,
Anybody else have anything that they need to unfold? Oh,
Oh, sorry. No. I
No,
was
go, go ahead.
Redan's going to do his magical mirror tour after you're done. So go.
Okay. Jobetta would eventually, based on what she tried to do last night and failed,
Mhm.
and knowing everybody that's around, she would eventually probably go try to seek out Black Cherry.
All right. Cherry's ship is easy to find.
Yeah.
it's
I imagine.
It's moored close to the keep on the river, and you go there and you can see Melissa on the deck of the ship fucking throwing dudes around.
Damn, got some spunk, that one.
This is the most fun. She's just like throwing people down.
Awesome. That's incredible. She'll say, "Where's Black Cherry?"
One of the men kind of like carefully pushes himself to his feet, struggling. She's inside training with the tiefling.
Which teeth? Which the Lilith, right?
You have more?
Don't worry about it.
Ah! And then he's like grabbed around the leg by a tail and drags him back into the fight.
So I guess I'll just go wherever he said she was.
All right. You open the door into the below decks of the ship, and Cherry has her coat and her hat off, and she and Lilith are dueling with rapiers. And at this point, Lilith is holding her own a little bit. She's
Nice. Jobetta's like, Lilith, didn't know you had it in you.
Lilith, just shocked hearing Jabetta, like drops the rapier and like puts her hands behind her back. Jabetta!
She says, why would you drop your weapon? You've left yourself open for an attack. What are you doing?
Probably at that point she does have a rapier like close to her neck, like I don't know, I'm guessing.
well, she does that, and then she puts it down and like sheathes it and says, "My apologies. We're in the middle of a training session. What can I do for you?"
Do you know what I tried to do last night?
Lilith's gonna try to stealthily put her gloves back on.
Oh yeah. I heard you did your best.
Did I? Because it didn't work. So
Sometimes we do our best and it still does not work. This is a fact of life.
yeah. But
You are an elf.
inn
You
is
understand.
restored.
It's good. I'm glad for that.
Yeah. I think he would have wanted that, if nothing else.
He definitely would have wanted that. Never wanted anyone to be sad, my cookie.
No. He spoke of you a time or two. We got very, very close. Because as I only trance, I was often up late into the night while he was off trying to take care of things by himself.
Yes, my cookie is a fan of his stories. Occasionally he tells one of those other harlots he dated.
He only spoke of you to me.
Oh, this is good.
Basically, he just said that you were not to be fucked with.
This is correct.
And she'll say, so what? She says, I'm not much with swords, but... And then she pulls out her moonstone hammer. And she kind of does a swing where she's like swings it around.
That is impressive. But I fear that we are perhaps different skill sets.
She says, yeah, I don't play with swords that much. She says, I prefer the light of my goddess.
Yes, and I hope you use it to sear that smug look off that bastard's face.
I'm going to try. I've actually got a book that belonged to Coven. I've been reading it. It's got many rituals specifically for wraiths and many undead rituals as well.
Well, and she walks over and kind of puts a hand on Lilith's shoulder and says, in the battle to come, you can be certain when an enemy comes to your gates, the cannons of the Black Cherry will ring out in your favor.
Lilith nods.
Gilberta says, it's good to know. She says, that bastard choked me in my sleep.
Or if I get my
Called me a
hands on
bitch.
him, he will suffer far worse than that.
Yeah. Gilberta says, oh yes, same here. She says, I'll show him a bitch.
Lilith goes a little awkward in the room and just excuses herself and be like, I don't think I've had food yet, so...
Yes,
Do
we
you
should.
want anything to eat? I can bring back from the keep. Black cherry.
No, this is fine. I shall go have some food inside.
Okay.
I have marooned myself out here for far too long.
Okay. I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Later then. Yeah.
Yes, I shall see you inside. We will continue the lessons later.
Lily just kind of walks off.
Gilberta's gonna follow Lilith and be like, why so secretive about the training? Is it not good that you want to train?
Well, I don't want to be pressured to coming in close combat. Want you guys know, so whoosh.
I have no secrets from the team.
Then just a slight delay in telling them about this.
She's like, huh?
They'll, you know what? How about I just surprise them when shit goes crazy? That's fun.
You are being very odd about this.
I'm very hungry, and I don't think I ate. I'm weird when I don't sleep. Is it the sun's up? I don't know.
Gilberta says, if you can beat me back to the inn, I won't tell them.
She's got the flying shoes.
Yeah, she's like, okay, click,
And
click.
Gilberta will turn into a panther. And just...
All right.
Damn it.
All right, Gilberta, make an athletics check.
Winged Boots is just 60 feet.
Yeah, Lilith, Winged Boots is just 60 feet. Okay, make the athletics check, so I'll tell you if you beat the Winged Boots.
I gotta look up the Panthers' strength modifier.
How about their walking speed? No, walking speed's different from running, isn't it?
Yeah. No, and while you do that, like,
Well-
Melissa is quick to run up flying beside you, and she says, "That was fun." Yeah, you didn't beat her.
I wasn't anyway. I just wanted to have a little fun with her.
Yeah.
Melissa, how did the training go?
Oh, it was great. I beat up so many guys.
You look like a real bad bitch. Real good.
Yeah, Trebetta's like, I saw that. That was quite. She's turned back
Yeah.
now from Panthers.
She says, she kind of flexes. She does a little bit of a flex. She says, "Hey, demon blood's good for something."
Yes.
Geez, I haven't been able to let loose for like that forever. I spent so much time just protecting William. I was never able to just fight. It was great.
Let's do it again later. But I think we should definitely replenish some energy and eat something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go have some food.
And Lilith kind of sniffs her armpit, like maybe bath too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trebetta just gives Lilith side eye, just like.
We're flying. Are you just yelling?
Oh no, she came back. She came back.
Okay. This is at the keep. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got it. Like, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys go inside for some food. And Redan, what is Redan doing?
Redan is looking for Calazar and Pen, on his way to find the mirror and spend the majority of the day there.
Calazar is in the Mage Tower already. Pen, after you woke up, where are you going? Can't hear you.
You're muted.
I'm muted. Let me paint this little picture and you'll find me.
Okay.
So
trying to feed books to your book?
Well, immediately after that encounter, I would have looked in my book to see, is the knowledge that was in the books that I fed, is it at least in my books or is it gone?
Yes, it is. It's in your book.
So I've got that. And then
in fact, you notice that when you rifle through your book, it seems to contain more pages open than it does when it's closed.
Whoa, that's cool.
Okay, I'm sorry to interject, but I got something to be relevant with this. When I'm done training with Key 3, I'm going to go looking for Pen.
Okay.
Let me know.
Everybody hold off. Just hold off. I promise it'll all come together.
Okay.
It'll all come together. So he woke up, he looked at his book, and immediately he's like, oh, right, there's something I'm supposed to be doing. And he's about to go look for Key 3, but then something in his healer brain snaps, and he's like, I have to go to the training hall. I don't know why. And I burst in the door right as Kashano and Key 3 are finishing their conversation with my healer staff in hand, and I'm like, is everything okay? I don't know why. I just got this horrible sense that someone was horribly burned.
Burned?
And he's just looking around like,
Come on, where's that applause?
You've been sitting on that for fucking ever.
I mean, I was almost cut a few times.
and he's just confused, and he's just like, oh, okay. And
Richard looks at this, sighs, and then walks out of the training hall towards breakfast.
That is an appropriate response.
And so he puts the healer staff on his back, and he sees Key3, and I was like, oh, well, convenient anyway. And I was like, Key3, do you have any of the black vials we retrieved from the lab on you? I've been meaning to give one to our alchemist lately.
Yeah,
and
I have 2 of them, so you're welcome to have 1 or 2, because I don't plan on using the grow explodey liquid.
Hold on. One of these?
I'll pull out a vial.
It looks like the same stuff.
Where did you
Where
get
did you
that?
get that?
From a mad alchemist in Neverwinter. Where did you get that?
From a mad scientist, the one that came back to life yesterday.
So this
Redan, you walk in just as they say, when did you get that?
Redan just turns around, walks out. Wait, not involved. Nope.
Richard
This brings
walks
up the question that I've been wondering.
Yeah, just walks past Redan.
Since we saw him yesterday, was it the same scientist?
Yes, that we saw. He was just
No, but I'm saying,
you're-
was it the same one that we ran into in Neverwinter?
Similar mannerisms, different scientist.
Okay.
there's a theme.
Yeah, there's something familiar about that guy, but I feel like it was. I mean, he was a little disformed, but the face was about.
Actually, make a perception check for me.
Okay. Let's see here.
Damn.
That scientist was definitely from the same organization as the scientist that you met in Neverwinter. They both had the splice badge on their coats.
That's actually, yes. Now that you mention it, the remnants of cloth, they had kind of like an insignia.
Yes, splice.
Yes.
Splice, is that what they were called?
Yes.
Yes, they were an organization that took creatures and of many different varieties and would do
Create war weapons.
experimentation, all kinds of things. They consider themselves scholars, and in a way, I would say they are, but their ethics are quite askew.
Have you seen this potion in effect?
No, but we were informed of it, and
Because we have. And he shows them where he's missing the chief.
Yeah.
Was that from taking it or?
No, that was from the guy that took it.
oh,
But hey, you should see the other guy. He's a pile of goo.
did he die?
Oh.
His heart exploded.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what we were told. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell Richard that so he does not take it.
We weren't
He
told.
knows.
Oh, Richard is fully aware. He is just.
That's not
I'm still going to tell Richard that again.
That's not the problem. That's the feature. That's
Something of note. Every time the man was cut, he almost grew bigger. Like the wound would instantly repair and become more bulk.
I'm interested in both aspects of this, and which is why I wish to give, and I'm going to take one of the vials from Miss Q3 if she's still handing it out. And I'm going to say I'm interested to see if Whistle Whip can potentially exacerbate either one or both of the effects, so that either we get something that can improve performance without the heart explosion, or one that can simply be injected into an opponent to cause them to instantly unravel, if you will.
Perhaps if we put it on some sort of dart or tipped an arrow with it, if it was potent enough.
Oh yes, a syringe would work quite nicely as well, I'm sure.
We have to get kind of close.
I'm not sure how well it'll work regardless. It's
Let's figure out if it can work first. Yeah.
Look at these two. It's just like, how do we weaponize this?
It all reminds me, I also have
Possible.
this Q3. This, I feel like you might be able to make use of this. And I give her a potion of climbing.
Oh.
I don't really need it anymore.
I do have this, and I use my cloak of levitation to.
When she uses her cloak to levitate, these flaming wings come out from her back and she levitates.
Oh yeah, and that happens as well.
Can you like take any altitude you like with that?
Not too high, but
It's because I mean, if you have no use for this, I'll hold on to it. But
probably less of a use. Certain
Poor
level.
Kashato. Every time he's tried to give out one of these, somebody's like, "No, I don't need it. It's fine."
Will no one take my climbing potion?
oh yeah, in that case, a swordsman could always stand to be sharper. I'll give her a potion of sharpness, oil of sharpness. I'm not even sure what that does, but
Ooh.
there you go.
It can be applied to blades for extra damage.
Ba-boom.
I'll take that.
There you go. That
Just
one
be careful
works.
you don't burn it off.
Ula's companion says, "Okay, I like him now."
Friend of swords.
I like the now.
Yeah, right.
Well, I obviously suck at dueling, so. Pen, can I just fuck it. And he's gonna pull out Blackwind's diary. I found this in the Mage Tower. At the moment, my intention was to see what sort of information was in it before I shared it with the team, but with everything that's transpired since what's apparently happened with Blackwind and Cookie, and now that you're all here, the handwriting is kind of chicken scratch. I was very slowed down. I didn't get much information out of it. I'm hoping someone like you can assess what use there is in here before we reconvene.
Oh, of course. This is quite a treasure trove, and I'm going to take it gingerly from him and just kind of see what... Is it in a different language or something? Is it just bad handwriting?
It's just my excuse because I don't know what's in it yet.
It is. It is
That's
chicken scratch. The first few pages that you flip through have detailed descriptions of the anatomy and features of various magical creatures and monsters.
Oh,
And it's detailing their abilities and how they work.
This is very familiar. I've seen journals like this before, and I'm going to flip open my book and kind of compare looking at it and compared looking to the Splice journals I've downloaded.
I'm hoping as a diary it will give us some insight into Blackwind's motivations. If we can better understand precisely what he wants, we can better understand how to deal with him. For example, from what I know so far, I'm inclined to think that he does plan to wait 30 days. Not just for a sporting chance, but also to gain as much power himself. He's a bard at heart. He wants great legends told about him, from what I can tell so far. But perhaps the diary will tell us otherwise.
We're told he had a flair for the dramatic.
I will make sure to spend much time pouring through this. I may try to see if I can get some help from Redan or someone in the library and do some research on liches and wraiths of the sort.
Your initial examination, the anatomy details are very similar to the thesis in Splice. A lot of the same information is collected, but it seems to be applied in different ways. And your initial examination through the book, one thing stands out for you. An entry, and the title of it is, in big scrawled letters across the top, "Not strong enough."
Is it at the end, at the beginning, in the middle?
At the top, at the beginning. And it says, "They knocked me out. I was in the middle of the spell, and they knocked me out. This power means nothing if I can be put down. I need to find another way. These creatures get stronger and stronger. Maybe there's something we can take from that." And then it ends there.
I'm going to essentially summarize this to them and be so, on initial inspection, it looks similar to some scientific journals, but he appears to be obsessed with gaining power, although we already knew that. So I'll have to do further reading to truly know what his motives are.
Does he define any particular source of power that he's interested in?
We know that we actually met someone who served him in the Ethereal Mage's Tower before they were ripped away. And the only information we've gathered is that he is trying to get the best and the greatest creatures to absorb, to try to make himself as strong as possible, just so that, and here it just says if he can be knocked out or knocked down, then he's not good enough. So I would say he's either trying to become invulnerable or immortal.
Does it say what knocked him down?
Does it?
It does not.
I'm not certain. It's near the beginning, it's probably early in his career.
Does it say the particular feature of that creature's power that he wants?
It does highlight
I think it's something you already said that he hasn't communicated about it getting stronger and stronger.
Well, we did hear that he had absorbed a black shadow dragon.
Yes.
Well, because like if there's something getting stronger and stronger, and he wants to extract that capability of it, that may explain the black goo.
I'm not sure I follow. What do you?
The man who drank the black goo, every time he was hit, the cut became bulk. It became muscle. It made him stronger.
The gentleman that you encountered, yes.
Until finally he became too strong and his heart exploded. It couldn't support the system anymore. But perhaps whatever creature that was, that black wind could not overtake, perhaps that's the source of this black goo. That means black wind is probably involved in splice in some way.
It wouldn't shock me. They're very similar in nature, but I would have to confirm with Calazar and see if anyone else knew. It would take a little digging, indeed.
Or at least that they found his research.
This is definitely interesting. I'll make sure this is top priority.
All right. As you guys are finishing up this discussion, you hear a booming voice asking that everybody join in the courtyard of the keep.
Do we recognize the voice?
You recognize it as Spoony the Bard.
Hey.
And as you guys actually walk out of the training hall, Whistlewhip, the gnome, tumbles out of a pile of hay with a bottle in his hand.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the academy.
Yeah, I've been here for a while. I just needed a peaceful place to nap and drink.
Who's this one?
This is the alchemist that I've been looking for.
Nice to meet you.
The alchemist.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you, Whistlewhip. Have you spoken with Redan, the big fella?
Yeah, the big guy. He gave me these fangs.
Healer's fangs. Is that all he asked you to look into?
He told me to try and see if I could make something out of them, but I need like a facility. I don't know if you guys got one of those. If you don't, it's fine, because I can sleep in hay bales and drink all day. It's fine.
We can prioritize something. I don't know that it's ready quite yet, but we can prioritize it.
I put my hand on Kashano's shoulder and say, I'm not sure on this plane, but the Ethereal at the very least has a lab in the Mage Tower. It would not surprise me if there is a lab in this Mage Tower.
Well, I'll take a look in your Mage Tower, and I'll see if there's anything I can work with in there. There's probably a comfy chair in there, right?
And I'm going to...
You might have to clean it up. MT should be able to help you. One thing, do you know
great, it comes with an assistant.
Oh my gosh.
Not really. He's more in charge of security. Look,
All right.
Do you know anything about the weapons that the Zentarum carry? They're like a cannon that they can carry around.
Oof. Haven't seen one personally, but I don't know. I'm from the Underdark, so I don't.
I know you.
We don't have Zentarum. We got purple worms and drought.
Right. Well, I know you're more of an alchemist, but do you have any experience with artificing, kind of looking at how objects like that?
I reversed engineered a couple things, so if you can bring me a sample of something, chances are I could probably make something out of it.
All right, I'll see what I can do. I don't want to speak for Redan yet.
And on that end, I'm going to pull out the potion of vitality and the black vial and say, I know you're familiar with this one from where we, found you.
Why are you still holding on to that?
I wanted to see if you could work with it, my friend. I would either like to see it as a potion to help us or as a weapon to inject into opponents. The choice is all yours.
You people are all crazy. Okay. Look,
a little bit, but
I'll do your job for it, but for science. Okay.
Of course, for science. And then I'm going to hand in the potion of vitality, and that, if you can, produce those with any regularity, that would be amazing.
It depends on what you got for facilities, but check up with me later and I'll let you know.
All right.
Oh, also, if you need any particular herbs, ingredients grown, please let us know too.
Sure.
Yeah, Richard has a little herb garden. Plus,
Yeah, it's like has him sitting in a corner and just comes and plucks things off of him every now and then. So everyone is gathering in the courtyard area. Everyone receives this summons magically. Does everybody go?
Yeah, Jabetta does.
Richard
Well,
has this.
Yeah, there's something that Guy wanted to do first thing in the morning, but he'll be back from that for this. Yeah.
All right. What did you go do?
When he woke up, because he was sleeping out in the yard, where in the ethereal, this is where his patron's house, for lack of a better phrase, is.
Right.
He flipped and flopped all night, did not sleep properly. First thing in the morning, he goes in to find the horse that I am going to call Lady Bellonica. He actually refers to her, he says, to this, he refers to her as the steed of the spring, and says, can you take me for a moment to the ethereal?
Of course. Well, she doesn't say that. She just whinnies and takes you away because you can't understand her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So she
I
takes you
still
to the
assume that she
ethereal.
can understand me, so I keep talking to her in complete.
Oh yeah, she understands you just fine. So she takes you to the ethereal.
And I go over by where the lady's house is. Are they still sitting inverted on the?
No, they're inside and they have settled into a domestic life here, but like somebody who plays at like a domestic life, so it's like a 1950s sitcom in there. There's like aprons and a fucking smoking chair. Like there's pies on windowsills like all over the place.
Perfect. Yeah. In that case, I walk in. I take a quick look around. Disguise self, or my disguise self equivalent, to look like a 50s house husband.
Okay.
And I just go and sit in the chair and take out my humongous pipe and start smoking it. And I look over at the two of them and say, I am here, my ladies, to offer my apologies.
Oh, apologies for what, Guy? And one sets down a slice of pie in front of you. But like a couple of the berries sprout legs and run off the plate.
Crush one under my thumb like it's the most natural thing in the world.
Yeah.
Look up and say, lately I have not been causing much in the way of mayhem and disorder. I have become very serious.
These are serious times, Guy. But you're also disrupting people who are seeking excessive order. So I guess it balances out in the wash. I don't know, flog yourself 50 times.
Of course, my ladies. I have one other thing I would speak to you of. I have done nothing to deserve this, but I would ask at the end of this, if I accomplish the task that you have set for me, may I then ask you for a favor?
That depends on the favor. We did bring you this pie.
I have done nothing to deserve either. For now, may I ask your gracious permission, ladies, to speak like this when I am in your presence?
They stand in front of you for a bit and they whisper to each other.
And I'm just staring at the pie, just playing with my food, waiting to die.
Yep. Occasionally a berry jumps up and flees. And then finally they... All right. This is more fun. We decided.
Thank you, my ladies. Perhaps I should take my leave, eh?
Play your games. We'll tell you if we tire of them.
Did you see my art, eh?
It was very good. Titty was not impressed.
If she kill me, you bring me back, eh?
We'll do our best.
Yeah, feeling much better about himself, out the door, back on the horse, and back to the material.
Titty. Okay. I am 12. All right, so everyone is gathered, and Spoonie is standing at a kind of makeshift podium. He is with Ogbok, Wormspit, Calazar, and Tommy. And he's talking with everyone, and he says, I'm sure everyone is well aware that Blackwind is coming. We have 30 days to prepare. We are the senior members of Avalon Knights. Blackwind was our friend. And this is our responsibility. We will not ask any of you to stand and fight with us. But we will not turn you down if it is your desire to assist us. But we want the choice to be yours. We discussed it. So we
walk
leave
over
this
and
out to
stand
you.
behind them. Like,
Yeah.
no questions asked. Just walk over and stand behind them.
Correction. It was your responsibility. You failed. And if you fail again, it will become our problem. So now it's our responsibility. I'm
As,
going to respect
Gilbetta,
you to stand down.
as Kishano's saying this, Redan picks him up and puts him on his shoulder.
Gilbetta just kneels in front of them with her moonstone hammer on the ground.
Richard, just fey form, is bubbling at the surface. Like how I'll run.
Lilith will go to Spoonie and she'll say, Spoonie, you did not abandon me, and I am not abandoning you. We do this together. We're a band, a team.
Pen's just gonna walk over by Calazar over there slowly and just walk over with a small nod and a smile and be like, there's so much to be learned, though.
Keith, we can't hear you.
Peter, you're muted.
Well, I'm certainly not going to leave you in a lurch.
And then Ogbok holds up his daisied hand. Manslayers! And a bunch of daisied hands rise up from the crowd. And there's a chorus of manslayers.
Yas, slay.
The arm just erupts into a bouquet of daisies.
As much as I appreciate your participation and taking responsibility for it, I'm going to have to ask you leave the rest of the decisions to us.
I will punch Kishano directly in the face. He's over
John Redan.
Not paying attention, so I will take it. Roll damage.
I'm gonna have to.
I'm not proficient. So,
Opposing.
Oh my god.
3 points.
Redan is not letting that happen.
Oh,
Well, neither is Tommy.
Oh, I was on Redan.
Tommy
Kashano.
stops. Tommy gets in between the two of you and he says, and then Spoonie pipes up and he says, son, that's why you're here.
As long as we're all on the same page.
Gilbetta's like, can you not just let us have a moment? And Gilbetta will turn towards all the daisy lifted hands and she'll put her hand on the ground and use druidcraft to plant like as far as she can daisies between like where they're standing.
All right. And some cannons fire off from the black cherry. And you see her standing on the top of the mast, waving her blade at you guys. In the midst of this celebration, from a shadow emerges a red-coated figure. But he doesn't emerge with a hop and a yell. He tumbles out with a groan.
Oh, Marcus.
And flops onto the ground. His coat is in tatters, and he's clutching a wound in his stomach.
Lilith immediately casts.
That is on top of him.
As soon as we get back from our break.
Hey. And all the healers run.
And
Lilith, let the fucking cleric be the cleric. God damn.
Yeah, Penn's just gonna be in shock. He's gonna be like, there are
It's a
other people here.
Look, it might take all of you. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Shove the undead hand in him.
That's your solution to everything.
put your fucking undead hand away.
Maybe I'll be there to do that and just be like, no, Pen, no.
All right.
think-
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll be back in a couple minutes. We're going to take a short break. People are going to ingest and expel whatever fluids they need, and then we're going to return.
Before we go to break, an announcement we forgot to make.
Oh, yes.
We made 200.
We made 200 followers, which means this coming Sunday, the Sunday, we will be doing a giveaway, and we are going to give away the fabulous prize of an Assassin's Creed Origins game code for your very own usage. And we're going to do that draw based on followers watching the show on Sunday. You got to watch if you're going to get your prize. So
Gotta be
tune
fun.
in, because it's going to be cool. It's going to be worth your while, and you might get surprises out of it. All right?
Right. Okay. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. We're live.
We can't talk about cartoon movies all night. We have to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Our own.
Okay. Hello, and welcome back to Too Many Warlocks / Mercenaries of Mischief. It's important that I put the headliner up on the appropriate day. Now then, when last we left our heroes before we went off on our short break, there was a meeting. Everyone joined in. Shannon tried to ruin the moment. And Mr. Marcus Phoenix tumbled out of a shadow, clutching a wound. And just rolled out flat onto the floor, coughing.
Oh, Sarah
Too bad
should
and
be
I
here
run.
for this.
Yeah. So I imagine everyone who has healing spells is running to assist him now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking from him to wherever Black Cherry's ship is and trying to figure out how she did that to him from there.
I've got my staff of healing out as well, and I know Jabud is already on top of him. And
All right, so I imagine the three of you rush up to him.
Yeah.
Okay, his finery is in tatters. This is the roughest you've ever seen him look. Particularly Lilith and Gilbetta. Penn, you haven't seen him that much.
Marcus.
He was
Sarah, we
waiting.
can't hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
Jobetta's got spells for the so I can fix that easily. That's fine. Jobetta's gonna channel divinity, preserve life.
Pardon me, ladies. I am not properly attired.
I try to cast my cantrip to make him not look so disheveled.
Jobetta's like, you fool! And she'll cast mending all over his fucking.
Oh, that's a little better. Thank you.
Yeah, quietly using prestidigitation, trying not to let him see me doing it, but I'm cleaning him up. I understand.
Marcus, what happened to you? Who did this to you?
I want everyone to know that I accomplished the mission. I
What?
saw the giant summit.
What?
I'm sorry, Giant Summit?
Shannon jumps off of Redan's shoulders.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jobetta's
By
gonna go
yours-
back at it with preserve life and trying to heal him.
Ben
We're
doesn't
done.
have any room to work, so he's just like,
Just watching. Redan assigned me the mission to check out the giant summit. He had received word that it was going down. Redan, your people were not there.
I did not think they would be.
That was fine. I can hide from giants pretty well. Although, fun message, Blackwind was there.
So Blackwind did this to you.
In what role was Blackwind there?
Observing, like I was.
Is Marcus not injured? Is he healed?
is he not healed yet?
Is he in pain still?
He opens up, he pulls up his clothes, and there is like deep, this area where his wound is blackened.
Oh, that's
and like spreading deep into his flesh.
Gilberto will cast the spell, whichever one that gets rid of any poison or whatever, blah blah blah.
Give me the spell. Give me.
Come on.
Yeah, because there's variants.
I'm trying to get to my dang spell list.
I'm going to look at this, and I would like to make an Arcana check, if I may.
Absolutely.
Would I? Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh no, Richard is prepping in his brain how to give him a wooden side.
He's just like, how do I regrow this?
Would I know if this is the effect of being attacked by necrotic energy sucking something out, or necrotic energy being injected in through an attack?
This was draining. It has drained out anything living and replaced it with this kind of undead spectral material.
Ooh. I'm going to put my hand on Gilberto's shoulder and say, I think I can remove that if you'll give me a moment. And I'm going to crack my knuckles, and I'm going to pull Handy out, and I'm going to crack his knuckles. And I'm going to hold him up, and I'm going to like wag my finger, and I'm going to be like, you can eat only the undead stuff. And I'm like looking very sternly. This is important.
I have a question to ask before you feed him to that thing. And I look down at Marcus and say,
Sure, for Yugi, anything. What's up?
I press to digitate the fresh blood that's coming out of his wound. Did he take anything from you? From
Tried,
inside?
but I'm too quick for him. I'm just getting a little bit slower.
Okay.
You will never slow down, my friend. You are a legend, eh? And I smack him on the side of the face and back off.
What are you planning to do with that thing?
It's just
What
like
is
somebody stop this.
Just let him do his thing. It's a,
This wonderful
It's a thing.
specimen.
I'm not.
and stop explaining. Go save his life.
All right, I'm just gonna stick Handy on his side, and I'm going to be very aware and like paying very close attention. And if we start drawing too much, I'm gonna rip them off.
Gilberta is also at the ready to do something. She doesn't know what, but
Pen, please be careful.
Of course, I'm a healer after all.
It begins to draw up the necrotic energies in it, and it begins to draw that into itself. As it takes it away, though, it leaves behind these gaping open wounds.
Let's cast.
Yeah, once those are done, I'm gonna pull him off and be like, "Oh, you're so good," and I'm gonna be like, "There you go, have at him."
Redan will slam his warhammer on the ground and say, "Do you want me to seal it?"
Richard is also growing his limbs out a bit to kind of do getting just like a very thin vine so he can suture and stitch.
I was gonna say I have a medical kit if no one else knows how to seal this up.
Will healing word do it, or it needs to be like medical stuff?
You can give out any kind of spells that you guys want to throw on this.
Go for it.
I'm just gonna do a straight medicine.
Okay. He is bleeding heavily now.
Okay, if he's bleeding, Redan's just going for the hammer on the wounds.
No, that doesn't make any
He's
sense.
applying heat to
it's a good
cauterize
thing.
the wound.
No,
It starts on fire when he slams it. So he's
Healing word?
cauterizing the wound.
Oh, he made it sound like he was just gonna boom.
Just kill him.
But you're
Put him out of
aware.
his misery.
His
No,
hammer
Redan-
starts on fire when he slams it on the ground.
Yeah, if he's bleeding heavily, he's just gonna burn the wounds, close them off.
Okay.
Will it close off if healing word or what Jabelda?
Throw it out there.
Do it.
That's
Try.
normally how it works.
Do you want to go first, or and then I go next?
Gilberta she's doing preserve life.
Okay.
So that is 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's 18 automatic.
All right. The wound begins to close up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she'll also do prayer of healing.
Okay. And then it starts to
Which
heal up a bit.
is which one's prayer of healing? Prayer of healing is 2d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay.
Okay, I guess when
Alright.
she's doing the curing, I try to get up and stop her down. Like, no, 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 no.
We got this, we got this. After you've cast those healing, he kind of springs to his feet a little bit. Says, aha. Thank you so much. So as I was saying, I had gone to the giant summit, and a stone giant has called himself the Emperor of the Giants and is now leading an uprising against the Cloud, Astral, and Storm Giants. He is also armed with a very unusual weaponry for a stone giant, and it looks like the weaponry is from Stoutbeard Foundries.
Richard, while Marcus is saying this, kind of just moves up close, ready to catch him, because he recognizes the "I got up too fast, I'm about to fall down."
Well, it's a good thing that you're there. And he's like, and that is how I accomplished my mission, even though I was nearly killed by a Wraith/Lich Lord.
Welcome to the club.
Feather in the cap. Now then, thank you so much for healing the wound. Now I'm wondering if you could check on these. And he takes off his shirt and turns around, and he's got 6 more on his back, spreading throughout. And then
Necrotic stuff?
collapses forward. Yep.
Ben!
Andy, Andy,
Yeah, no. Started.
Pen, you're muted.
No,
Pen,
Ben, you're
you're
muted.
Pen, we can't hear you.
I
Pen?
got you.
There you
I got you.
Alright.
I'm just gonna whip out a hand and be like, "It is a buffet today. Time to save some lives, the undead way."
Can I cast survival, considering this is dire enough that I feel like medicine won't do it?
Sure.
Nice.
All right, so everybody is all in. This is so sweet. You guys all want to save Marcus.
Fun.
I'm shocked that Lilith wanted to help. I'm being honest.
It's kinda
What?
like that in,
So I'm shocked that Lilith wanted to help.
Anyone that's injured, I will help.
yeah, it's kind of like that annoying cousin. It's like he's still family. We can't let him
in
die.
a room, so you know.
That annoying cousin who hits on your sister, who is also
Yeah.
his cousin.
He was naked in her room. So-
As I said, anyone
Let's-
injured, I will help ignore all that weirdness.
I was about to say we're not all related. We don't. It doesn't have to be that literal of a.
It's like la 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 la.
Handy takes in about as much as he can. There's still a little bit of it left behind, though. He's just a little hand.
Richard,
Just sucking it out.
what would happen if Richard were to say, just kind of break the water pendant over him?
What would happen indeed?
You Richard, how many times can I tell you what's in that?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Richard,
I'm gonna try. So Jovetta's gonna try something. I don't know. Maybe not.
hold him down, Richard. We should cut it out.
Oh, whoa! I did that. Man, I might.
Jovetta is actually she's gonna bless some holy water.
Okay.
And she is going to try kind of cross casting protection from evil, protection from evil and good, and I guess healing word
Okay.
or cure wounds
All right.
with holy water. She's gonna like bless them.
Combo spell it.
So you apply all of your cleric expertise on this, and between you and Handy and Lilith and Richard all working on this, you feel you've got him stabilized. You feel like he's not going to die now.
Is
And
there
you
still
keep
blood
up-
in him?
You feel like there might be more beneath the surface because he's still unconscious, but you feel like the worst is over.
Yeah, because Richard was like not 2 steps, 1 step away from getting Redan to hold him down instead of the other way around.
It's like, I have the blade. You can't cut with a
Yeah,
hammer.
Redan's got a knife out.
Oh, Richard just changes his packed weapon into a scalpel.
Lilith wants to check and lift up his pants leg and just see if there's any more scarring on his legs and his feet.
Oh, he'd like that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, if he was awake, man.
Unconscious right now.
He was
Don't tell him.
awake.
There's nothing additional on his legs.
Nothing. Okay, so he looks clear.
He
I'll be
looks
honest.
clear. He's still unconscious. You guys feel like he just needs some rest now.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Jobetta really wanted to know what would have happened if she would have cast Turn Undead.
Oh my
One
God.
last thing before we go. Key 3. Eldritch sight, if you'd be so kind.
You're muted again.
Can't hear you.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, we can.
Okay.
I think it's the mic.
It might just think that I haven't used it long enough. Yeah, I will use Eldritch Sight and take a look at Marcus.
All right. You use your Eldritch sight and you take a look at Marcus. There's still some necrotic energy deep inside him, but it looks like it's slowly fading away.
Well, it looks like we kind of there's a little bit remaining, but looks like he's kind of fighting it off. So maybe check in, let him rest, and keep an eye on him.
Richard slips his scalpel back into his arm.
Yeah, probably don't need to amputate anything at this point.
Amputate? No. No. Violently remove, yes, but not amputate.
And when can your little hen thing can help again?
I look at Handy. I assume after he finished, he did a little like kind of burp.
Yeah.
he just rolled over.
Yeah, he's taking a nap, right?
Put a finger down Handy and make him vomit.
Oh God, I'm not
Doesn't
that.
even look
Where do you stick your finger to make a hand vomit?
Yeah, okay, but at the same token, where's the orifice that he sucks up the
It's necrotic.
It's the
energy.
pores.
Don't read into it too much. Firstly, though, at least 4 of you owe Handy an apology for. I'll just put that out there.
apologize to my severed hand.
Redan better not be included in that.
Speak to the hand? Yeah, not likely.
Oh yeah, Redan wasn't one because Redan loved Handy, so 3+ of you. But yeah, hell,
Have I insulted Handy?
I'm sure some of you have at some
I'm
point.
relatively certain. I just went, it's Penn doing Penn.
There we go. Regardless, though,
I haven't insulted him yet. Give me a minute.
While they're having this discussion, Lilith is going to try and pick up Marcus and try to take him to a room.
Tommy immediately swoops in to assist you.
All right, so shoulder to shoulder kind of thing.
Helps
Thank you, Tommy.
No problem.
Just give us a moment. We'll be back as soon as we settle Marcus into a bed.
All right. So you go with Tommy to settle Marcus into a bed, and first one to speak up is actually Wormspit. He says, "Well, we've got some work to do. I want everyone double time. We need that blacksmith up and running." And a bunch of workers go and they start building the blacksmith shop. It's nearing completion.
Pen, can I speak with you?
always. And I just roll my little fat Handy under my hat again. I'm like, you earned a rest, bud.
Redan is going to start walking towards the mage tower and kind of ushering Pen away from the group.
Mhm.
And just starts by saying, "My God spoke to me last night," or what I thought was my God. She told me that she lost her seat in the Underdark, and I was told that there are abilities in me that she would show me how to use, but only if I further her reach in this world.
Oh
That
my
doesn't
god.
sound like my God.
You're a warlock
Yep.
now. Welcome to the family. And I just hug him a little.
I don't know what you're talking.
Reaction.
There it
I-
is.
Well, my friend, here's the long and the short of it. It sounds like through either your god sent you to another deity, because yes, that was the basic knowledge I gained from the book as far as the usurped deity. But yeah, it sounds like your god sent you to another god, and now that god has power, and you wish it will unlock if you do X, Y, and Z, i.e. warlockism, something we are all quite versed in on my side of the team.
I'm just imagining a giant smile on Pen's face right now.
I mean, it's interesting, but there's also, it's slightly bigger than it would normally be, because he's also just like, why does everyone's god talk to them more than mine?
Oh.
It's like right across his face. He's just like, oh, your god talked to you.
How great!
I
Mine
need
did
to
too.
tell Pin that Jobetta's spoken to Soul.
Penn knows. We have to find a way to get Penn to like Jobetta, because up until this point, he's just like, this cleric is rubbing all the warlock wounds every time.
Everyone gets to talk to their god.
What do I do now then?
Well, if you wish to pursue the power in which this god speaks, you will do as they ask. If not, you will not probably receive any power, or you will be punished. It depends on the god. I'm not the best authority on that end because my god hardly talks to me. I've gotten one sentence in, 2 years? So, yeah.
Not that I'm bitter or anything. I'm just
I'm
stating
fine.
fact.
But if you find any books that you
Hashtag deadbeat gods.
if you find any books that you don't need, I'm not saying give me any that would be of any use to you, but if you find any floating around you don't need and you want to toss them to me, I can apparently, this right here is a mobile library. I can force other books inside it through my patron, which is very interesting, but it stays the same size.
I feel like we have a lot to talk about later. I'm searching for a library, and you would very much like to meet my people.
Apparently. Yeah, that sounds... Who? You and I, sir. Big things, and I no pun intended.
Redan doesn't get it.
Oh, man.
I have a lot to think
Same
about.
damn size.
Oh, is he no taller than I am?
No, he's no taller than I am.
How tall are you? Yeah, you're taller than me. It's fine.
Yeah, they're both taller than you.
I have a lot to think about, but thank you.
Of course. If you ever have questions or need anything read, I'm your pin. Sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
I believe I do. Thank you. And Redan walks off looking for Calazar.
But Calazar is making his way back to the Mage Tower after the big meeting.
Should have been a writer instead of a reader.
I do both.
Judah's just gonna kind of... Okay, so I know people probably don't want to hear this coming from me, but we need a game plan.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be a good
Yeah.
idea, especially since we have a tendency of just running into things.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But
We
let's get
also
on.
must
plan.
consider that, we're going to be doing lots of preparations. We don't know how often we're all going to see each other.
Black Cherry emerges from the storehouse with a couple of her men. And we are going to an island. There's word of an ancient temple of Sirik. It is in the far northeast. We are going to go find this place and let Sirik know that his bargain is broken. See if he can bring my husband back from the dead.
Which god is
Um,
Richard
That is
still-
excellent. That is one of the 3 things we have to get done. Absolutely have to get done in the next 30 days. We have to talk to Sirik and see if we can get the curse reinstated. That sounds so weird. We want the curse to be reinstated. Anyway, you know what I mean. And we need to deal with this Owen Stone and his hollow metal man. I think
Captain Ford.
I start to talk maybe to Walter. He's in the ethereal. He's the butler. He spent some time in Waterdeep. Maybe he know about him.
Maybe he does. What did you want, Kashana?
First off, I'm sorry we didn't get to speak earlier. You obviously know who I am. I'm a huge fan of yours. But that aside, a great honor to have you on our team here. Could we accompany you?
Yes, I will have you come with me. I need to keep a close eye on that one. And he points at Lilith.
That's fantastic. Then I'm sure we can
Yes.
discuss.
Get your things together beyond my ship in the morning.
Very, very good. Very good.
What's happening?
Are we all going with you? Eh?
I assume.
I imagine you will have another task, will you not?
That's what I was wondering. We got 3 things to do. If you take care of one of them, there's 2 group of us, eh?
I will take this team to go see Cyric. You shall find another task. I have a couple things in mind. I'm sure Calazar, he's very clever, will let you know.
Richard is still very visibly uncomfortable around both Black Cherry and Calazar.
Yeah.
Before we start making more plans, I think we've all kind of forgotten about the Mirror of the Past to check in more about our enemies, such as Lord Zelos. Look into his past, get information about him. And other people. Again, Kashana, have you used it yet for your lost or for your friend that you are having troubles with? Should we all take a tour to the Mage Tower and take a look?
I haven't, but there's someone else we need to ask about first.
We have a book.
Jobetta.
What?
The Wailing Crypt. The what were they? The Fates Intervention.
What?
Holy shit.
The rest. Where we found the coin. The adventure party that died destroying the Lich.
Yes.
We need, if we know who betrayed them, this could give us so much information.
Jobetta doesn't say anything else, but she kind of takes out her warhammer, her Moonstone warhammer, and just kind of cradles it into herself, because that's when she found it from that dead acolyte of Selune. So she just kind of cradles it close to herself, like, I don't want to think about it. Stop.
The Wailing Crypt has some bad memories.
The hammer and the pan flute, I think we've got plenty to go on.
Let's go then. And
Black Cherry says, very well. Tom, Brady, go get the mirror, bring it on board.
What is this?
Tom and Brady?
Yeah, Tom and Brady.
That's incredible.
Do they ever play football?
Incredible.
Yeah, but they always cheat.
Oh,
Well, they are pirates.
those cannonballs were deflated.
So are we going along with, I think you said Lord Zelos gave you something to attack Blackwind. Are we going to do as he says? Or are we going to surprise him and go after Lord Zelos instead?
I had my men leave the weapons in the storage house. Do with them what you will. We have 30 days to prepare.
I feel like going after one fish is big enough at the moment. Let's leave Zell alone for now.
Which one, though?
Well, think of it this way. Lord Zelos's man, Owen Stone, gave us these weapons, whether or not with the true intention of helping us defeat Blackwind, at least making us think he was. So say we do defeat Blackwind, we can return to him in gratitude,
Yes.
if you want to say it, and come under the guise of being thankful and perhaps either gain more information about his operation before we strike, or strike then, depending on what suits us best. But I do believe we should handle Blackwind first.
Yes. And you must remember, because they still do not know that we are aware that Lord Zelos is the head of the Zentarum.
Oh, I forgot to mention that to you guys. Yeah, they were the signatures were in an obscure
Did we?
language, likely meant to.
I'm sure we talked about it.
Yeah, but I don't think I mentioned that the signatures were in a different language.
Oh,
I had to do
okay.
a little quick craftery to discover that it was actually Lord Zelos. I don't believe he's aware that we're aware that he's who we know he is.
Well, you also didn't you kill the messenger also? So
well, Tommy did.
But
Who do we think? Because we met Owen Stone and he just said Lord Zelos was his benefactor, I believe. So
Yeah.
who did we think? He's the leader of the Zentarum. I guess Owen Stone did not tell us.
He's high ranking in the Zentarum, and Owen Stone has not told us that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something I've discovered surreptitiously.
I see. This is more to think on.
yeah.
Yes.
Still.
Wormspit.
And Lord Zelos does also have a vault in the mines. right next to Stoutbeards.
There
Who
is
is
one other thing we
fighting-
may have to consider when we think about Owen Stone and his robot men. Eh? Remember, Cyric said, Cookie dies when the age of adventuring is over. If we let those robot men replace us, the age of adventuring is over, and then there's no chance to save him, ever.
Yeah, still one thing at a time.
Yeah.
We've only got 30 days. What do you mean one thing at a time, eh?
One thing at a time as we focus on Black when we deal with the age of adventuring shit later.
How do we focus on him? We don't know where he is.
We talked to Calazar.
He don't know where he is either, eh? Or he would have told us. Eh?
We
That's
prepare.
We
There's,
can't track him anymore. He is
Look.
wherever he is.
Look, there's 8 of us here. There's the handful of old farts and nearly 1,000 goblin and other such creatures dedicated to the academy. As long as we maintain our dedication to the academy, whether this keep stands or not, as long as one of us lives, the spirit of adventuring is alive, is it not?
damn straight.
That was almost inspirational.
Close as he's got.
Yeah, that's close. I was so ready for him to like launch into something. It's good.
I was too. I was already like,
Oh,
I was already pissed off. Like,
I was pre-snapped.
I was pre-mad. Like,
I think, as Lilith said, getting as much information as we can now, and then we need to have a strategy session to put into place. I don't know if I'm comfortable speaking in the Crab Shack anymore. There's so many people new to the keep. We should set up a war room in the tower.
We'll talk to MT1 about that.
I also want to talk to Spoony and Tommy and Calazar, and on the other side, Corwin and everybody who had a part in his downfall the first time.
They should certainly be in the room, I agree.
Because if we make it look like we're doing the same thing again, he's going to think we're stupid and try to fool us, eh? And then we flip it on him at the last second. Eh? We know there was a ritual of binding. We know there was a phylactery. I want to recreate that scene perfectly in his mind. Then I get him to hold still and Calazar suck out his fucking soul.
Well said.
You're smarter than you look.
Give it a shot.
And I look awfully smart, eh?
Black Cherry says, this is far better than looking smarter than you are.
Oh, wait a second.
You just covered in burn marks.
I like how everybody's just like, that's definitely Gajano. To a T.
The one thing everybody in this world seems to agree on is that Kashano is the asshole.
The title of the episode is just the Kashano roast.
Yeah, this is the Kashano roast episode.
well,
Hey, man, you want a villain? That's how you get a villain. Keep on it.
Did you want a super villain? This is how you get a super villain.
I don't even
Like,
we got
agree
a hug.
Very
Hold on.
villain.
We got a hug from Jobetta and Richard in the same.
You get hugs from prickly
I know.
characters.
Oh, yes. No, there's a
so
little faction
sensitive.
forming. If viewers, if you look in the top right corner of your screen, this is what will eventually be the evil party.
It's basically like, don't hurt Kashano's feelings, otherwise he'll turn villain.
Hey, no, I'm taking it all great now. I'm just saying.
All right, so Cherry continues to load up her ship and get things ready. As she does this, kind of Calazar leans out of the mage tower as a window appears. And he says, Warlocks, I think I have a job for you.
Oh,
Convenient.
okay. Quite. I know. Almost like planned.
Almost like the episode's almost to the end. I need to put people in fucking places.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. Shit.
before we adjourn, two things. Pen's got his book open and he's waving a little pen around. He's like, one moment. So firstly, I need to ask Puck this because I know. Would I know, as someone who knows all of Arcane and whatever, would I have heard of anti-magic fields?
You have heard of anti-magic fields.
Okay. So like couple of things for everyone to keep in mind. we're dealing with a lich. So if anyone wants to do any looking into anti-magic fields, essentially then it becomes a fist fight with a very weak person. Just
Okay, but
something-
we have also established that an anti-magic field turns Richard into a corpse.
We'll only put the people who we know can handle it in there.
I have a one-word comment to your plan. Warlocks.
You know, I know. We just be in a fist. It'd be like a bunch of wusses.
Fighters are
You
based
do realize
on
that out of the Warlock group, Richard is the strongest. It's
No,
not
I
gonna
know.
end up very well.
I'm
Richard's
imagining
the one
like
to volunteer and he's gonna
Well, look,
die.
it wouldn't have to be anyone. We've got ranged weapons. We've got an entire keep at our disposal.
We've got a Redan. We can
The
just throw the
best
Redan at him.
Yeah.
We're dead. I'm just saying.
I just love
I
the
do have
idea.
What's that?
I do have a sword.
But
Yeah,
it's a
the sword
magic
isn't. The sword is magical, but I mean, her skill with it is not.
Yes.
Dude,
And
she was kicking ass last. Never mind.
Yeah, like
She's always just an ass. I don't think she's ever
That's
She
my
loses
thing,
a
though.
little bit of it because it's still a packed weapon and you gain bonus from packed weapon.
I just
True.
like the idea of this sissy slap fight between the Warlocks and this lich, just like
That
an
means we put you in the middle of it, Pen.
I could deal with that.
Yes, Redan.
All right. Can I retcon and say that Redan spent the morning with the mirror and he spoke to Calazar after the event?
I'm gonna let Redan take the journey in Black Cherry's ship with the mirror, so we can uncover that stuff there.
All right.
You're being pushed to another episode.
No, it's all good.
Take the mirror. Oh God.
Calazar before the end of the episode?
Absolutely, you can. What did you want to say to Calazar?
Redan would just like to ask him if he retrieved that book from the Mage Tower and if he's heard anything about the library that Redan has been searching for, one that's been lost for thousands of years somewhere in the south.
Calazar says, "Oh yeah, the book," and he hands it off to you. And it's it is a history of warlords of the Sword Coast. And he said, the library that you're looking for, I can't say I'm super familiar with it. I'll continue digging, and if I happen to find a location for it, I'll let you know. But it's very unusual. This must be something that's closely guarded by your people.
It's a story we've told for as long as I can remember, as long as anyone can remember.
Is it common for you to share it with people outside of your tribe?
It's common to search for information among scholars.
That puts me out a bit. Well, I will continue to do my best. And the moment I find anything, I will let you know.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now that I can access the Mage Tower, I might be able to get a breakthrough.
All right. And then Redan would just like to spend the rest of the day, the rest of the night, searching for anything about vaults, lost treasures, or Deep Dura.
Okay. Those are all good things. And actually, as you're talking to Calazar, you hear Deep Dura in your mind say, he doesn't know yet. But he'll figure it out. And then you hear Calazar's voice in your mind for a moment say, oh, I've got a lot of books to read. Maybe there's something in the old collection.
Slim chance Richard might know something about Deep Dura.
Oh, he very well might.
Redan says, or Redan just pauses, just stone blank face, just dumbfounded. Like,
And then you hear nothing again.
Yeah, Redan's going to walk off a little more awkward and confused than normal.
Okay. All right. So,
Jobetta has a thing.
what's your thing, Jabetta?
She is going to find, I assume, like Tommy or somebody is nearby at this point.
Yep.
All right. She is actually going to slip Tommy a letter.
Oh.
And she's going to say, can you send this out for me?
I will do what I can for you.
Okay. And it's a letter addressed to Estella.
Very well.
You just use the mail.
I'll see to it that it gets where it is going.
Yeah, and then
Thank
just
you.
before we head into the tower, I do want to just quickly step up to Lilith and kind of, I'm assuming after what happened today, I'm assuming you're kind of wearing your emotions on your face a little bit. Would that be
Can you
fair
bring your
assumption?
volume up a little?
Oh, sorry about that.
She's probably looking just pretty freaking tired. Just
Thrashed. Yeah.
yeah, just exhausted from everything. Just a lot of information and whatnot. to take in.
So he walks up to you and kind of bends down so he's in your eyesight and says, we were never formally introduced. When we did the introductions yesterday, I'm sitting in the corner like an asshole. I am Guy Bonton. My hand up.
Guy, yes. Hello. Lilith Singer. I don't know if you caught my name or not earlier. A lot has been happening.
And you try to
pleasure.
shake my hand?
I will shake your hand. Yeah. Pleasure.
As soon as you put it in his hand, he bends down and kisses the back of your hand like a perfect gentleman, and then holds it for just a second and looks up at you and says, thank you very much for for speaking with Melissa. Eh? I wasn't getting through to her. She wants to stay. That's crazy. We can't let her stay. Eh?
No, I will continue to talk to Melissa and William. It seems William will need more talking to, and don't judge me if I may have to sway him a little bit with a charm, with a song or so, to have him leave the keep.
And yeah, if she doesn't stop him, he's going to reach over and put his finger under her chin and lift her up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No, just the chin. Just the chin. Just
Okay.
to want to make eye contact.
Okay.
And lean in and say, you know this is a safe place, eh? You know here you can be yourself, eh?
I'm trying, but I don't want people to see the weakness. I want them to see strength. So I'm going to work on that.
We're all scared, you know.
Yeah, there are many things out here that are terrifying. I guess that's one reason people look for power.
Do you even know how brave you are? You are trying to save the world.
Lilith will go ahead and hug him, like, stay quiet.
Fucking love Guy.
Just pat her on the back and just whisper in her wait till she breaks the hug, and as he lets her go, he just whispers in her ear, "You're a hero."
We are, especially you and your troops, for rescuing Melissa and William and bringing more to the keep. True heroes. I hope we can all strive to your level of going out and protecting and saving.
I don't do nothing. It's the other ones, eh?
I guess as long as we all do our best. And no, not do our best.
That's all you can do, Lilith.
No, we have to do more. Because there's so many lives riding on our shoulders.
Then we get better and we do our new best, eh?
Yes. Yes.
That's the strength I'm looking for, eh? And I just pat her on the shoulder and
Lilith will nod her head and thank you, Guy.
I'm a lucky dungeon master. Love these fucking moments. Okay, so that transpires. Anything else anybody wants to do?
We gotta go ask the mirror about the Fates Intervention.
Well, the mirror's coming with you guys on your journey.
No, don't. Oh, so we're not gonna do that before we have our big strategy?
I think we all need to know what's going on with Lord Zelos and something.
Don't take that out of the mage tower. That's a horrible plan.
No, it's going. It's going.
An extra minute or two?
Tom and Brady have already taken it on the ship.
Oh,
And-
fuck you, Tom.
So we're not gonna
Brady.
do
Pen,
stuff now. Okay.
Pen, you have a whole physical library you can suck into your book, and then you have a whole ethereal library you can suck in your book. Surely that will take a couple of days.
Man, Pin is a real sucking kind of guy.
Can we get the Warlock team a sending stone so we can communicate what the heck's going on with that past mirror thing?
We have that?
We have 3 of them total, but I don't trust them. We got 2 by Owen Stone.
Do you
Are
know
we?
That's
He
one of
doesn't
the.
trust the stones.
That's
They're
one
given
of
to
the
him by
things
Owen.
that Dan wants to look into
Right,
with
yeah.
his mirror. Those sending stones.
The sending stones.
Rudan
Ah,
wants to look into that and see if there's another one attached anywhere else.
All right, we got some time for some quick mirror checks. And
Kashato,
since
cast identify on those and see if
I could see. I think that would only tell me that it's a sending stone.
so the Warlocks are staying at the keep because they need to get. They're going to get a plan from
I do need to have a word with Guy at some point.
Salazar. Okay, you have a word with Guy now as you guys are heading to go take a look at this.
Okay, I'm gonna grab him by the elbow and pull him across.
grab him by the elbow.
The fuck's your problem, man?
I
Do you
don't
not
like
do you
people who
not think
don't
that
know
I
what
am
to do.
here?
You ask me a fucking question and then you cut me off before I can answer you, eh?
That's fair.
I don't like people who play fucking games, eh? This isn't you. This is games. All I see when I look at you, games. You talk about being on the same side as everybody else, and you play games, eh? Everybody else here is honest. You play games. I don't trust you. Now you can talk, eh?
You finished?
Yeah.
I play games. Because you know, Guy, word travels around quite a bit. Kelazar is not quite one for discretion amongst people he trusts at very least. Happen to know you were in possession of a certain item as nothing but games. Happen to know that games are very much your motif. And yesterday, happened to hear you slip just a touch when you were speaking with the only people you seem to truly respect. So, I can understand why you might want to keep secrets. And I'd be glad to hear what secrets you're keeping whenever you choose to be honest with me and the rest of the people who are depending on you. But in the meantime, I'd like to assure you that everything I've said to you has been the absolute truth. He pulls off his mind control ring, and I'm sure you have ways to verify that if you choose not to trust me. But until you start playing your games, perhaps you should check yourself a little bit.
Who do I play my games with, eh?
Why don't you drop the fucking voice, first of all? Because you're playing that game with all of us. None of us
Necrotic
have any
Shroud.
idea who you are, and you have no intention of letting us know who you are.
Full necrotic shroud. Start backing him up into the corner. Make a wisdom save for me, please.
Oh,
Love it.
conflict time.
Getting real right at the end, too. There were so many hugs this weekend.
I know.
Okay.
That just makes it.
Oh! Yeah, everybody here seems to be a fucking monster. Well, guess what? I could be a monster too, Fear. Make a wisdom save for me, please.
How far away did this happen from the rest of us?
You, your greatest fear, and so do I. Tell us about it.
My
Geek.
greatest fear? Me going home. Me being forced to go back to the Aasimar and be the only Aasimar in the world with a sense of humor.
What does that look like to me who's
That looks
not
like
aware of
me
Aasimar?
standing in the middle of the court of Aasimar, which is a court full of angels. There is nothing but light and me putting a whoopee cushion underneath the priest's ass when he sits down. And then I get beat for hours. And then you see me years later as a teenager. I'm stringing a very thin string across the Chamber of Virgins. And a little later on another piece of string, there's a big wooden penis. And I go make it go fly across the room of virgins. And I get beat to shit for that too. And then the last one, there's one more. You asked for it, fucker. There's one more. The last day, he paints his father's sword bright pink, not knowing that the next day he gave a stirring speech to the Aasimar army before they went to war, and then at the end of it drew forth his bright pink sword. And all the healing in the Aasimar world still took 3 months to heal Guy's ass after that.
Oh my god, Redan and Guy need to be friends too.
And he's just backing away from you.
So, once again, before he gets too far away, but after he's gotten a real fucking good look this time, a little less sympathy than normal.
Yeah, I kind of
Drop it.
I kind of charge in. Just
So
Yeah, how close were they
We
to
see
us?
that?
You guys see this unfold.
You make my point for me, you fuck with me, eh?
sorry, I've charged in.
Okay.
So you don't like to play games, Guy.
Oh, now you guys got to make more wisdom saves.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, damn it, Richard.
Scary Richard came in now.
I'll do it.
So he
No.
survives. Kashana does not.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck, why is he doing this again? And do I
And it's just both. Sorry, you're terrified. Guy's just been feared.
am I compelled to
Back off now.
Is anybody else in the range of this? Like, how? I don't.
We
10
were
feet.
all close enough to hear.
Yeah.
Well, you guys all close enough here, but I imagine you guys backed up at least 10 feet by the time this was unfolding.
Dude, popcorn.
Right?
Guy,
Can you produce some flame over and Lilith grow some corn real quick? Like,
Here's
Oh,
the
I'm the
thing,
only
we
one-
don't have to trust each other to work together, eh?
precisely my point. But please understand, you're not the only one here running from your past. I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm not asking you to pledge yourself to me. I'm asking you to pledge yourself to this institution, to this group. All I want to know.
Already done.
Great. I'm going to take off my bag and reach into it and pull out a very large, colorful egg. It's larger than a chicken egg, but looks more like a chicken egg. All colored up. Just a big one.
All right. The entire time you're scooting away from Richard slightly because he's
Oh, yeah.
terrifying you.
I'm assuming by this point, we've gotten out of his range. That's all.
Oh no!
Are
No,
you
I
just-
am standing in between you two.
Okay, you're following me around then, and I can never have this conversation.
Sorry, I've stood in between you. I'm trying to get both of you to back down. Unless Guy says something, it's gonna stay up.
Like I said, I don't have to trust you to work with you, eh? You asked what I thought of you, and I told you, eh?
Hey,
I guess I'm running in the other direction.
I'm
I don't know
Richard?
what the- I don't know
I'm
what
gonna
the reaction
walk.
to the presence is.
Well, or E3.
I've got 2 older brothers. Let them just work their shit out.
Yeah.
Look,
Sorry, Richard kind of just. He doesn't get rid of the Fey presence. He just shifts it entirely. I'm asking. This is the one time I'm going to ask if I can do this.
Okay.
To go from frightening to charmed. Just,
Where are you going with this?
oh no! Just changing forms and then walking away.
Okay.
That's it. I'm not trying to do anything else. I'm not. Trying
Okay. So you walk off and let them continue their thing there.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm less terrifying, and I'm just this beautiful fairy person.
all right. No one is affected by their fears anymore.
Okay. So at whatever point that I've gone around
Yeah.
to pulling out this egg, and I say, look, don't don't tell me you're not into games. Games are clearly a thing. I think you might have fun with this one. And I just give it to him and make it count. Walk away.
Hey, Cajano,
What?
I don't have to like you, but you know what? I kind of respect you a little bit, eh?
Thank you.
You stand up for yourself, eh? Who can knock somebody who does that?
Tearing a little bit. Nobody has ever told Cajano they respect him.
It's true.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I'm just looking at this big egg here.
All right.
Hey, Woody, thanks, eh? He backed my ass up right against that house. I look like a fucking idiot, eh?
Richard the Peacekeeper over here. Who saw that?
I say nothing. I'm just kind of looking. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
At everyone.
Yeah.
Like this is
yeah.
not inappropriate.
Oh, that was
It's
just
like everything is just kind of gone. No, I understand who started it. I don't care who continued it. You escalated. Both of you can fuck off.
the whole time in Kevin's head.
Yeah.
The whole time in Kevin's head, I'm going, I hate it when people argue in public. I fucking hate it when people argue in public.
I thought we had pulled to a side.
Oh, my-
Pretty much right there, right? Because
No,
we're on our
well,
way to the tower, right? We're
Yeah, I
right.
guess we were walking in. So
All right. What did you guys want to look? I'll give you 2 mirror shots before it's time to get ready for your journey.
I think we need to know the full story of that coin. Everybody agree?
Okay.
What about the book?
Which book?
The
So
book
many
you
books.
gave me.
So many.
You can just read that. We've already looked up on Blackwood.
If we do the
Uh.
stones, then maybe they'll leave one behind for us. If we do the coin, then we can talk about plan and stuff. Just get it over with.
Can I give the list of group things?
Incredibly tired. I've been awake since 4 a.m. and slept for 30 minutes in between.
Sure. I'm gonna throw out all the group things that I think are pertinent. The speaking stones, if there's more than one around. Let's see here. Lord Zelos the second and the third, trying to confirm if they're the same person or not. The Tarask stirring 15 years ago. What happened? Why it happened? Zavil, where he is and if he's okay. Who animated the dragon skeleton and the orb of thunder from the storm temple?
Did cool stuff too, you know.
I think the best bet of getting at least like who betrayed Fate's intervention would be to just focus on them. If we have, and especially if we have like the coin and the hammer, and I have Jamie's journal and his pan flute. If we know who betrayed them, if it was either Zelos or Blackwind, that gives us a big window. If it ends up being a third person, then fuck us all. But you know,
All right.
that's my vote. Everybody else want to vote?
I'm tired. Do whatever the fuck you want.
I think we need to figure out if there's another sending stone or not.
Yeah, that seems pretty important.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna
well, we would
say-
have 2 of them at this point, I think.
I was gonna say we'll have time. It's at the keep, you know, where it should be, but no, it's gone. Do whatever. I've already gotten most of the information I need, other than the book.
That.
What about those mercenaries?
The robot.
Richard?
Wildfang?
Yeah.
You guys are going to have this with you for the next session, too. So.
Well, they were the one that stole
Stuff
from.
that's pertinent to both too many warlocks and
We need the big world stuff right now.
Yeah.
just do small things that both. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna. I think we're all agreed. We want to figure out who betrayed Fate's intervention.
Of course, Richard takes
about
root.
the second thing.
Okay. You're asking who betrayed Fate's intervention?
Yes.
Okay. What exactly are you picturing in your mind?
Picturing. I'm picturing Jamie.
Okay.
In what we saw to potentially be his last moments, and I want to know what happened before that last moment. I want to know who killed Jamie, basically. Or at least, very least, the name he was writing, he wrote that got ripped off of that page.
Are we all huddled around this little mirror?
Yeah, you're all taking a look.
Gilbetta will sit in front of the mirror, just literally sit on the ground and pull the moonstone hammer out and think about kind of similar the last moments of this acolyte of Selune that she found clutching to this
half elf. What's her face? Yeah.
You see her last moments again, and it's just like you saw it before. The last bits of darkness, the last bits of moonlight blink out from her, and she goes mad in this dark room, in this deep place, drawing depictions of the moon all over the ceiling before she eventually just succumbs to madness and dies there. You see Jamie in his last moments again, just as they played out before, but you see them from his perspective. And the man behind the cloak looks like the same man in the painting when you were at the museum opening.
Lord Zelos! All Lord Zelos!
Great, upbeat. Let's move on to the next
I was
one.
gonna say we're all just lost. I don't know. It's like, oh yes, people. Oh, more people. People.
Gilbetta is gonna look at Kashano and she's gonna say, "Are you this whole fucking time? Are you fucking kidding me?"
Ah, yes, that colorful vocabulary.
Devonian Zelos II.
That man is Devonian Zelos II, father of Devonian Zelos III, supposedly, because we know about the time frame that this crypt thing happened, right?
You're not sure of the exact time frame, but quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Who was this adventuring party, though?
Yeah.
They were the ones who were using the coin
Yes.
to kill a lich. They were betrayed by that man.
Yes.
Were they of the Avalon Knights, or
No, they were another
No.
adventuring party altogether.
They
That
were known
man-
as Fates Intervention.
They were betrayed by that man who is supposedly the father of Lord Zelos, the man who hired us to get the coin and is also at the top of the Zentarum.
And also looks a ridiculously lot like Zelos III.
We're
That we know.
fairly sure that he's actually one and the same.
It could be possible. We could be dealing with two liches. Zelos II was a terrible, dominating warlord. He killed thousands by his own hand, plus the thousands more that were killed on his order, I'm sure. He conquered everything.
So if he betrayed
He
We have so much
betrayed
to
them while they were, after they destroyed a lich.
yeah, for him, I presume.
And we'll catch you up on all that.
We'll go through that again later. A lot of this is rehashing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Watch episode 6 of
I
Mercs of Mischief.
Just to be clear, Guy was nowhere near that. He's seen enough of the past today.
all right.
Other side of the yard.
Same thing
Out.
with Richard. He doesn't want to even begin to think about what his past looks like.
Okay, what's the second thing?
All right. Second thing, when do you guys want to look at the sending stones?
Yes.
There is another one. You have 3. You think of the past of the sending stones. When they were created, there was 4.
Yeah. So those are useless to us.
unless we speak in code.
They're
Where
not
can we shop for more?
Or misinformation.
They
Oh,
know that we know that they know that we know that they know.
It is one of those situations.
When you say where can we shop for more, and a deep gnome tumbles out of a wardrobe nearby with a bottle, I could probably whip up a few.
Whistle whip.
And that is where we will end today.
okay.
At some point, me and Whistle Whip are going drinking. That's
Yeah.
gonna happen. There's gonna be a town gets burned down.
Could we do 10 more minutes? We need to.
No, next session.
Well, guys,
I'm
maybe
not
you
gonna
should
be here
let me
next
ask
session.
questions earlier.
I was gonna
Then
say,
do it in the roleplay channel.
okay, fine.
I was just saying, okay, the one thing that I'm gonna want to get, at this point, I wanted to put it to a vote as to whether or not we ask the Black Hand to join us.
Oh,
There's a lot of no's in there. I can already tell
We
you
have
our
time
team.
for that.
all right. Quick show of hands. Who wants the Black Hand to join?
I discussed this with our team. We didn't know when we'd be able to see you. We had previously decided that this was an acceptable course of action, but now that we're all here, I don't intend to speak on anyone's behalf. I've yet to speak with the Black Hand. I don't have to make that offer. But the increased information network would help a lot in the days to come.
The Black Hand we would be using to strike against Lord Zelos. Is this what I'm to understand?
The options...
The Black Hand is Lord Zelos, isn't it?
No, it's the
No.
Black
No,
Network.
he's the Zentarim. Sorry,
Yeah.
right.
The options of what we ask of them are limitless. It's up to you.
Can you do it without the Avalon Knights Academy name?
Well, there's really no benefit to them unless we're able to offer them the same protection we'd be gaining.
I don't know.
I
if
don't
it's
like the
worth
sounds
it.
of it.
Is it out of the frying pan into the fire? We'd have to turn our blind eye to evils that we don't even know in our full extent.
I have a lovely expression in the Underdark. The enemy of mine enemy is my friend. And
You
then
hate
afterwards
the
I
Underdark.
betray that people and then stab them several times. You know, if you just focus on the first half of it, it's a very nice
So
Whistle Lips like I heard that one.
Dan walks over to Kishano and stands beside him and says, if you think it's a good idea, I'm with you.
Oh,
I turn and just look at my other three warlocks, just trying to read their faces. I have a feeling I already know how they're all feeling.
G's come back for this. He's just like, you
Yeah.
know what I think. Eh?
Yep.
I don't want nothing to do with either one of those group. Eh?
Richard,
Certainly don't want their name associated with the keep.
your inspiring phrase aside, is that really what you think?
It is partly what I think. It is the lovely, lovely bit. If we can get them to work with us, and if we follow the full drow expression, then afterwards we stab them in the face.
I love manipulation as much as the next person when it comes to enemies. No,
I do not.
Well, this is what
This is
you
why
speak.
it's paining me to say this.
I have to say, as it currently stands, I cannot fully endorse this idea. My vote is currently at a no.
This is Kishano's home. He will do everything he can to protect it. He thinks this is a good idea. He's put his life on the line. I
We're
think
all
to start trusting each
we're
other.
all risking a lot of things.
to be fair, Redan, I appreciate your loyalty, but at this moment, I'm asking for a trust in my judgment, which, frankly, I'm leaving up to you rather than myself. All of you.
My stance would be more.
That's exactly the point, Kishano. If we're going to start trusting each other, now is the time.
But in trusting each other, we also have to be honest with each other.
And honestly, that's a fucked up plan, but
The best
But-
way would be Kishana.
respect your
I'll
opinion,
sign
thank
off. Kishana, I'll sign off on this on one condition. You bring one of the warlocks with you.
No objection to that?
Then I'm in.
That's 3 yes, 2 no.
As a player, I don't know who the Black Hand are.
Actually, I'll count myself out 2 yes, 2 no.
I've missed this information, so I can't make a decision.
They are short versions is they're basically like a militant gang that I've set up. They were originally a bunch of brutes, but they have come to power because apparently their leader has some kind of artifact that gives him precognitive knowledge of operations and dealings within the city, and he's using it to create a kind of blackmail network.
So they're like the mafia.
Great to have.
So they're the mafia.
Yeah, kind of like that.
But
like the worst
shitty
kind.
mafia.
Yeah, shitty mafia.
do they slay the innocent?
And then the other half of the deal is the Zentarim, who are professional hired assassins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The Black Hand members of them probably have done it because these guys were like shaking down people for coin at the docks. Like they're not.
Yeah,
not-
including us.
They're not nice people. That's nobody's arguing that.
There would be an entire overhaul of their operations.
I think there's a better way. I think look at us now. We came and showed up at your door. Y'all had already been in operations for a short while, and we've already more than at least tripled our numbers here. I believe that there are plenty of good people left in the world to go fight this fight. I don't want to be shaking hands with those that we have to turn on right around.
But do they have scrying artifacts that the Zentarim are afraid of?
No, but they might have
And
Better, what's your vote?
Can we find them in 30 days or less?
Whistle Whip kind of speaks up after you guys because he just tumbled out of this wardrobe. He
Oh, yeah, I
just says, I wasn't a good guy.
I mean, neither was I. I literally burned down villages.
Unless
Killed-
they've turned over a
There's
new
lot of
leaf.
fun stuff that I did.
We've all turned over a new leaf. But you know, I don't know if they're the kind of folks that the Avalon Keep wants to be associated with.
Jobetta whispers under her breath, I'd like to turn over a tea leaf.
Oh my God. What?
And additional ships.
I'm upset.
Checking that.
All right, so votes.
All right.
I
Hard
believe
vote.
God wants to make
Hands up. Hands up if you agree. That's 2.
That it?
Hands up if you disagree.
You can't
All
not
right.
vote.
And the one exception, you're always allowed to abstain. It's a free culture.
I plead the fifth.
Oh man.
I feel like it can downplay our integrity, our word. If people that are reputable find out that they've joined us, that it can tarnish our image in the world.
Place a hand on her shoulder. It's fine. This is
Why can't we just make this a temporary alliance until Lord Zelos goes down and then depart ourselves from there, that our business is cut down?
Like I said, stab them
that
in
was
the face.
that was my intent. But
We've taken the vote.
the group has spoken.
We can reconvene later if we want to reevaluate this. I don't know that we're going to be handling Lord Zelos in the nearest of futures. We have Blackwind coming now.
Yeah.
So that we need to focus right now on that. And I also want to kind of put my hand on Kishana's shoulder, and I want to make it very clear. We trust you. We are beside you, and we are fully, we fully agree with your abilities. We're not questioning you. We just genuinely don't want to ally ourselves with those people.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
Jobetta will kind of second that. She'll say, I have known you, frankly, longer than any of the people in this room. She says, but your judgment is sometimes fair, but on this one, we've not had great dealings with them. I know you know, Raldo, but we've not had great.
It's fine. You don't have to explain. It's fine. the decision's been made. I'm going to honor it. Yeah, as a great bard once said, if I die, I shall do so in the finest company I could ever have imagined, and doing the most honorable work I could ever hope to do.
Fucking callbacks. And I'm ending it there.
Sean's like, it's over now.
It's over, damn it.
Do you understand me? It's over.
This was tough. Oh God, I'm undecided.
Oh, fuck.
Doesn't
I
matter.
don't-
You've been outvoted. It doesn't matter what you vote.
Yeah.
Made it too long, my friend.
I
Too
did.
long.
All
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this amazing crossover special. I'm not going to say there's not going to be any more in the future. We might do this again.
Yeah.
I think we need to.
Again, remember to tune in on Sunday for our amazing draw for Assassin's Creed Origins. Give us a follow and give us a follow. Check us out on Discord. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter. If you want to keep up on everything that's happening with Avalon Knights and with the Mercs of Mischief, we do the occasional game stream throughout the week. All these fine people that you're seeing on screen here are content creators. We have information on all the stuff that they create on their little name tags that are on there. And you can find all that information in our Discord and again in our Facebook as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. And we will see everybody next time. And until then, class dismissed.